I believe NCAA athletes should be paid a small portion of the huge profits they create for their schools. College athletes are under a contract. Schools basically own the athlete. First, college players are having their names and skills used in video games, creating money for companies outside of college. Also, they are producing millions and millions of dollars for the colleges, coaches, and TV stations, yet they still receive no money. Third, they have no source of income because they don't have time to get a job, which makes living a lot more difficult. According to Ramagi Huma, president of the National College Players Association, he says playing college sports is a full-time job. Students can spend 40 hours a week practicing, training, and competing. College sports are equal to jobs. You get up early in the morning for your shift or practice, and it's an everyday thing. Eventually, the season rolls around, and colleges start racking in the money. According to a new study by economists from the University of Chicago and Vanderbilt University, the current compensation for arrangement for big-time college athletics is inefficient, inequitable, and very likely unsustainable. Colleges make millions of dollars off athletes, and it's unfair for them to get nothing. Not only do colleges make money, but companies such as EA Sports do. According to Forbes, the college sport video game industry is generating out $3.7 billion. It's just not fair for athletes to work so hard and get no reward. They aren't asking to be paid a lot, just a little portion for all their hard work. They deserve it. Don't stop it.
Ready? Why NCAA athletes shouldn't be paid. It is my job to make all of you aware why NCAA athletes shouldn't be paid. I will prove to you that college athletes shouldn't be paid because of the following reasons. It creates a disadvantage because the non-athletes get no extra compensation. It would bankrupt smaller universities because of the profit they're getting for sports per year. Getting the world-class education free from is already enough payment. The scholarships they are given is already enough money because not too many students can afford it without tuition. According to the argument one, disadvantage for non-athletes. According to the University Star, scholarships granted to student athletes cover tuition, fees, room, board, and textbooks, and that is according to the National Collegiate Athletic Association website. Some athletes receive scholarships that cover less than all that, but still receive most than the average student. Whoever receives a scholarship has some talent and work a tremendous amount of time to earn the money that they can. If it wasn't for the scholarships that the colleges offer, not many of those players could pursue their academic or athletic goals. Their universities don't need to take out even more finances just so their athletes are happy. The excuse for college students over and over again is that they are broke and need money to buy clothes and etc. But when you are in college, that is the way of life. For the non-athlete students, they don't get the experience of unpaid internships with a full scholarship. Argument 2, bankrupt smaller universities. According to the Daily Wildcat in 2012, the University of Arizona made a total profit of about $1.22 million. But the University of Texas generated a profit of $25.03 million. If both schools decided to split up the profits evenly and pay all the athletes, Texas would get a greater advantage. So in the future, it could get better players and get more profits so the university can continue to expand. Arizona would lose athletes to programs that can afford to give players more money. So then Arizona, being known as a sports school, would just start to go downhill. If the college athletes wanted to pay their student athletes, they would have to.
Cleve, if colleges are making so much money off these athletes, and I'm talking millions of dollars, why shouldn't they receive this small amount of money, just a small amount?
Because it is unfair to the non-athletes that don't play any sports and that are going to college for education. They can't receive any income or compensation for their grades.
All right, but outside of college, if companies like EA Sports are making so much money by marketing the players' jerseys and merchandise and using them in video games, why can't they receive some of that money?
Well, once again, it isn't fair to the non-athletes because they aren't fortunate enough to play sports, so they won't be able to get any compensation. So the NCAA will continue to make money because it isn't fair to the non-athletes.
But they're not working as hard as the athletes. But yeah.
But they're there for education. They're not there for sports. So my question is, according to the NCAA, only 23 athletic programs made a profit in 2012. What happens to the colleges that don't make a profit for the year? How are they going to pay for their athletes?
Alright, well, they have to make more money in the budget, so my suggestion would be to probably cut some of the sports, like golf or women's basketball or something, to make more money in the budget so they could pay for the other people in athletics.
What about the other? What about the players that play those sports?
I don't know, maybe market more, advertise more to get more people to come to the games and make a lot more money for them.
So if we do decide to pay college athletes, it would cause issues whether or not players on teams like golf and lacrosse, sports that are less popular, should get paid. How would you be able to address this situation with an even playing field?
I think it all depends on how much money each sport makes. You know, like NCAA football is probably the biggest profits. I think their players receive more, bigger amount. Like percentage-wise, they cut it 1% for each player. I think they should make money based on how much they generate.
Or what about the baseball players or any other sport that doesn't make as much income?
Well, sports like golf or basketball, they're going to bring in a decent amount of money, but I mean, it's not their fault. I mean, you know, football players, they work 10 times harder than if you're a golf player. You know, you're just kind of shooting golf balls. So, I mean, hard work pays off and they get the reward they should get.
And what about baseball?
They make a good amount of money.
But football makes more, so you think football should get paid more?
Yeah, they work a lot harder.
Disagree?
That's to the final speech.
Then you wanna go first?
Yeah.
It's under. So although it is a good idea for college athletes getting paid, it isn't right for many reasons. It isn't fair for the non-athletes because they don't get any type of compensation. Student athletes already get enough free items that are included in the scholarship. If they get paid, there is a disadvantage to the smaller Division I schools because they would start to go bankrupt from not enough profit. Although it could help the athletes, it could create too many consequences for the NCAA and the colleges to deal with.
College athletes live a hard-working career with no reward. They spend restless hours on the field or the court creating millions of dollars for other people, not even themselves. It's just not fair. They have no time to get a job, and college sports require days of dedication and allow no free time for them. If they had time, they would get a job. They are low on money for buying food, water, and other supplies needed. College scholarships cannot cover all of their needs. And to less popular sports, they will still receive some money, just not as much. Colleges are basically using these athletes for their own good. A small portion should be paid to them. They deserve it for producing so much money in the first place. Being a college football or basketball player is a job and you have a duty. It's just like anything else, and there should always be a payday.